All right, we're going to record this. This is Bobby Lopez, Quick Fix Golf, our regular Wednesday night open house. We got tonight sort of a free-for-all. We're going to have all our students and guests be able to ask questions. And John Newborough is question number one. He wants to know why he has to keep bumping that hip. And he's keep trying to get rid of it, trying to get rid of it, trying to get rid of it, trying to get rid of it. Now, let me tell you one thing first, John, so you understand, especially when it comes to touring pros. You know what they work on every time they go to a lesson? The same crap. And it's usually narrowed down to about 1-2 things at the most. They have the same problem we have as far as, having a certain idiosyncrasy that they just, to reprogram that is not something easy. But let's just look at your backswing, which you take back behind yourself a little bit. Oh, come on, don't tell me this. See right there, you're good. Look at the face. Look how close the face is. Now, if we look at this from the downline view, I've got it here somewhere. No. There it is. Let me get this thing to go down. Oh, well. Hope this thing's not in the way. It's in my way, but I hope it's not in your way. Then we draw a line right here. Whoops. Dumb Cuban. Nice looking plate you got here. Let's keep this in mind right here. You're sort of lined up that way. It's pretty darn good, pretty darn good, pretty darn good. See your left knee? I know that sounds crazy that the left knee would have something to do with it, but you get so turned that then you come in shallow, and if you don't get in front of yourself, you're going to hit it left. Watch this. Here you go. See, and that's what gets you having to pooch up. Is this picture in Pennsylvania?
Close to Pittsburgh. It's in West Virginia, but it's
West Virginia. Right. Mm-hmm. See, so then when you get, how do I get this thing to get out of the way? There you go. See, this here, right here, you're in a decent neighborhood. And then all of a sudden, you go forward. And what these kids are doing today, which is what's helping them create the amount of speed they're creating, is by rotating on the axis that they set at the top of the backswing. So here's Cameron Champ. So now he's got this angle. Now the trick is to spin on that angle. You don't spin on that angle, you move forward of the angle. So as you move forward, 2 things happen. This club opens up, meaning the angle opens up. So you're getting what we used to call in high school, the premature release. And then here we go. He rotates on the axis. That was supposed to be funny. See, he rotates on the axis. You surge. So then here's the problem you're going to have. Let's pretend that you said, okay, I got it now. I'm getting rid of the golf club right here. I'm pulling the golf club out of down, pulling it down, pulling it down, pulling it down, and I'm going to rotate on this axis. Chances are, because this face is shut, your ball's going to go left. Mm-hmm. Because the bump straightened it out. So if your face is shut, this bump is a good idea. You got in front of it. So you learn to shut the face, because if you didn't shut the face, you sliced everything. Davish? So the way I would do it is I would try to say, hey, how do I get my left shoulder to go where my right shoulder is, and my right shoulder to go where my left shoulder is? How do I turn in place like these guys do? And let the ball go wherever the hell it wants to go. You don't care. And if it goes left every time, then you say, oh, and I know what I do. I got to somehow square up my club face. And chances are, we'll go back and look here, that left hand grip's probably a little strong. So you'd have to dial that left hand this way a little bit. But I wouldn't do it until the ball starts going left. Let me show you another sample here. I use all the time. Darren laughs at me. But I can't find a better one. Here's Bernhardt. I mean, not Bernhardt. Benny Crenshaw. And he's going to rotate right on that axis. Right on that axis. You set the axis. Now, that's a nice launch angle. Here's your launch. There's where you're tilted. And what do? You screw it up by going forward. You see it now?
Is that the same thing that makes me flip my irons?
Of course. I mean, you got to do something. You got to do something at the last second to square the golf club up because you moved laterally. You moved this way. So as a result, you don't have as much time to square up the golf club. So you got to have one or two things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to either slam it with the hands or have it shut in the first place. Take your pick.
So how do I get that damn hip back instead of straight?
Well, here's a couple of things I would do. I would go get a ball, a regular ball, not a golf ball. If that's small, you're not going to throw your arm out. And then just pretend like you're throwing a ball from center field to home plate. And if you did, you'd tilt like this to throw from center field to home plate, and then feel yourself rotate right on this spot. Just like somebody throwing the shot put. You put the shot put under your chin like there, and then spin right in place. Don't step forward. That's the ticket. You got to turn right in place. Let's look at Bernhardt. He's going to do it a little different. That's why I'm going to give you a little different perspective here. No, that's not what I wanted. Here we go. See, he sets up square up to the golf ball, yet when he swings, see, he gets to this launch. Look at it.
That's what I want. I've just never been able to do it.
But that's going to cost you another $5.
That's all right.
Look at it. Look at the one. After I get my new lesson at the range, and the guy said, "It doesn't feel good." I said, "You want to feel good? That's another $5." Hand it over. But you see the launch of that ball matches the launch on his body? Gabish?
Yeah.
See, and he rotates on that axis. He rotates on that axis. He actually rotates back a little bit because he wasn't there in the first place. If I was talking to Bernhardt, I'd say, Bernhardt, get over here in the first place. Look at Koepka. Oops. It goes too fast. But here's Kuchar. Here we go. Haven't seen him lately. Maybe you got to pay his caddy. He might be able to play again. Cheap bastard.
Kepka's cousin is a member at our golf club, won the club championship last year.
Really? Look at that grip, boy. That's strong. Woof. His club face is closed, see? Let's see what he does. Now, he should rotate on this angle. Look at it. He actually goes back of it. I'm saying that if you could rotate right on that angle in the smallest amount of space, you turn, you're going to create the maximum amount of energy or distance or club head speed, whatever you want to call it. It's like tornadoes are faster than hurricanes because they're skinnier. So if you could rotate right in place, he's actually backing up as he does.
Would that make me skinnier? I'd like to be skinnier.
You get these kids that are like 6'2" and 6'3" with a skinny butt, they can hit it a mile because they can turn. Here's another one. I'm going to show you another one in case you're not convinced already. Here's the longest hitter on the senior tour at one time. I watched Rieger. Oh crap! I put them on the wrong side. I'm trying to move this thing. You probably can't see it from your side. Watch. Now here's this tilt. Now if he can turn on that angle, up, he went forward a little bit. Be careful. See, he's losing the club a little bit. See that? See this angle opening up right here? Had he stayed on that line, that club would probably be here, which means he would pick up all this additional angular acceleration, hit it even further. He ends up on this on the spine angle. See?
I'll keep trying.
Bobby, didn't he move this last pro? Didn't he move laterally back a little bit on his backswing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you don't move laterally. You tilt. Look, if this is this, well, I'm glad you said that. You're straight up and down, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you wanted to make a catapult, it would tilt this way, right?
Right.
And then you go from down to up. What do I see every day? Everybody goes up to down because they lift themselves up and they pull up out of the spine angle. Their head goes above the line, and then they pull straight down and they're steep and they stick it right in the ground. Or if you look at most of these players at the top of the backswing, their head goes down, not up. Look at Kuchar. Look how far down he goes.
Yeah.
Let's go back and look at Cameron Champ. His head goes down and then even lower as he hits it. Then he releases and comes back up and above the line. So you're making a catapult. The catapult is this way. You're straight up and down. So now you're going to go this way. In place. You're going to turn right there on that spine. No moving that way, because if you think of yourself holding up a bucket with a piece of string and you're spinning the bucket around, your hand's moving very little. As soon as you take your hand and wobble it left and right, the bucket will slow down. Throw me another question. Anybody else?
Yeah, I got one for you, Bobby.
Go ahead.
Let's say I'm hitting a 110-yard shot. If I were off the fairway, I would be using the 9-iron for me.
Right.
But let's suppose I'm in the rough, not a deep rough, just enough to where maybe ball might
like
grab.
you usually are.
So if I'm hitting out of the rough,
Right.
I've got to open the club face a little, because when I come into the grass, it's going to grab a hold of the hosel and shut the face. Is that right?
Well, it depends. Depends on the kind of rough you have. If it's really, really high and it's really good, I'd take the toe and I'd toe it in and hit down with the toe to try and get the toe of the golf club underneath the ball.
Ah, okay.
And if anything, the grass will turn it a little open. It'll square it up. Now, the other way could happen also.
I remember Darren saying something about that. When you're in a rough, you have to open it up a little bit, because as it comes through the grass, it'll close your club face.
He's correct. That's in a lighter rough. That's in the rough where you can sort of see the ball and everything pretty good. You have to watch about the neck of the golf club getting caught in the grass and shutting the face on you.
Okay.
But when I get in deep rough, like you're usually in, I take it and I put the toe down and I shut the toe and I hit straight down and pop it out of there.
That's really deep rough.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. What about if you're doing you're just pitching onto the green. You say you got like a 56 or a 60 degree. Do you do the same thing in the same kind of rough? Do you go in with a slightly open club face, or on something like that where you don't really have a lot of club speed, or club head speed?
If it's just a little bit of rough like this I'm drawing here, that's one thing. If you got rough like this garbage back over here, I'm going to shut the face and pop it. Just like look, think of it the same way as a bunker. If you got a fried egg in the bunker, what do? You shut the face, don't you? You shut the face and pop it out and expect it to roll. If the ball's sitting up in the sand, okay, you open the face a bunch and just zip right underneath.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah. If it's buried, yeah, you close the face and try to hit it off the toe. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
You got
All
it?
right, that makes sense.
There you go. Anybody else have questions? Lay it on me. I can handle it.
I got one, Bobby. As
Go ahead.
kind of senior golfer, I noticed my club speed slowing down the last couple of years, things like that. I'm never going to be able to swing like I just saw Cameron Champ.
It's not because you're a senior, you become a senior golfer, because you're in great shape. It's all that drinking you're doing. That's what's slowing the
That helps me speed up, I think.
Nice guy.
What can I do to compensate to be more of a for a swinger with limited flexibility and things like that? I mean, what could I? Because I'm not going to be able to do like he does, I don't think.
You do like he does. In fact, if you don't mind, I'll pull up your video. Yours is excellent. You've done a terrific job. Yeah.
I've been slowing down the last couple of years.
Well, me too. I must admit that I went to in Myrtle Beach, a guy that was really good. He was taking lessons with us, and what was that? You?
That's recent this year. That's not that good of a swing.
No, but I can tell. I guess you're right. You look like you're at least 100.
Yeah.
Maybe
that slow up.
I'm only teasing you, man. But I went to the this guy. He's not just a chiropractor. He has a physical therapist in the office and a regular doctor, a GP, all in the office. And I'll tell you what, I was limping bad with my right leg. Took all the pain away. Gave me a bunch of exercises to do for flexibility, because I've noticed like if I got 10 or 11 lessons on my schedule, by the 7th lesson my back starts bugging me.
Right.
So I figured I had to do one or two things: either go to one of these chiropractors and try some, see how it goes, or go to one of these Chinese massage joints over there. Where the girls walk on your back with your feet.
That sounds more fun.
It was. It was expensive. At least the doctor took Social Security. But what is it? What do they call it? That's an actual lesson here. Hold on. That's Social Security. What do they call it? Medicare. In my supplement. One old fart and I got Medicare. Look at this. Here you go.
I don't know. I don't understand it. Where your wife walks all over you, why would you pay somebody to walk on you?
There you go. I mean, it's a masochist. See, now you're in trouble. Now you're in trouble. Right here, you take it a little bit further back, and see, then your hands lift up. You're going to go right over the top. You're going to go, oh, see? And then watch. You're going to shoot your wad right here. Boom, boom, boom. God. You actually held the angle better than I thought you would. But look how your legs and everything, you're going to have to jump up.
Right.
You have to jump at the last second to try and square the club up. And the problem with that is you could have one or two things happen. You could hit it right down the middle, but you could bail it out to the right, or you could snap hook it to the left. I don't remember this picture. I'm sure we did it.
I think my back is so stiff, I have a hard time making a good turn.
Well, you can try. I don't know anybody. Oh, I do. I know somebody not far from you. There's a guy who's a physical therapist who's really good. His daughter took lessons with us for quite a while, and she got a full scholarship to a school in North Carolina. $40,000 a year scholarship. Now, where's the flag on this hole?
That's straight downhill. That's at Mattapan.
Look at where you're lined up.
Playing a draw.
Oh, you are? It better be a southern draw. It better be a big one, too. Okay, right now I'll tell you what I would do. Let's see if everybody else sees this. I'll tell you what I would do right now. I would go to Walmart and you can get one of these little foam tubes, skinny one. You use in the pool and whatever, and put it under your toes. Because watch how you're going to come off your fanny here. You're going to go right to your toes. See?
Yep.
See? You need to plant you back on your heels more. So you can put a little foam tube right here underneath your toes. And another thing you can do is put like a chair back here, and and hit right cheek on the chair, left cheek on the chair, right cheek on the chair, left chair. Because it's hard to go vertical or horizontal if you don't go to your toes. So it's going to your toes, it hurts you.
Gotcha.
See, because if you look at our old buddy Perky, you'll see as I put a line right here behind his derriere. See, right cheek on the line, left cheek on the line, right cheek on the line, left cheek on the line. See, but he's not driving to his toes as much as you are.
Okay.
To his left heel.
So that swing should still be very similar to these young guys.
Well, I mean, I don't. You're in great shape. I mean, I don't. I think this problem. You could be 15 years old and still have this problem going to the toes.
Okay.
In fact, most high school players do because they're trying to hit the ball harder, and they jump under their toes.
Gotcha.
So put something under your toes and get planted on your heels.
Sounds good.
If you have to, get some nails and just nail your heels down into the ground.
Okay. I played with a guy this weekend at Pendleton, Bobby. He was a young guy. He hit the ball a long ways. Hole 17, 355 yards.
Yeah.
You remember that? He was 25 yards in front of the green off his tee shot.
Wow.
The ball sounded like it was just broken when he hit it. It crushed it. It was amazing. You need to teach me to do that.
You got a better chance of getting struck by lightning in the subway. All right, who got the
It's
next?
pretty cool. It's cool to see somebody to be able to hit it like that.
I know it is, but these youngsters, I'll tell you, they're so flexible, and we can improve our flexibility, but I don't know that you really get it back to what it was when you were younger.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Next question.
Bobby,
Yes.
Bobby, on that Craig Perks, show a front view of his swing. Because I love his swing. I love the way he gets his hips turned. But doesn't he go backwards on his backswing a little bit?
Oh yeah, of course. You look, here's let me explain it this way. Here's a line of scrimmage. Right up his left shoulder, straight up and down to the ball.
Yeah, got it.
Okay? Now, when he makes his turn, what he's attempting to do is get the tip of his left shoulder as far back behind the line of scrimmage as possible. Because he doesn't want to pass that line of scrimmage until after the ball's hit.
Right. Okay.
And he makes a little bit of a surge, but he gets so far behind that he gets away with it, see? He goes forward a little bit right here, but then watch how he's not gonna let that left shoulder pass that line. See, it goes straight up the line, straight up the line, straight up the line, straight up the line, straight up the line. There he is.
Yeah, I'd love to have that swing.
He's an announcer or something now.
That's great. Yeah. Bobby, I have an equipment question.
Go ahead.
A fitting question. I was hitting, I think it was TaylorMade when they came to our club, and I love my clubs, and I don't want to change, but I hit with they had a comparative thing, and they said their shafts were a good bit lighter than mine, and I hit the ball clearly 15 yards further with their club, with their shafts. Now I've got a 92 Henry Griffith shaft, custom fit for me back in 92. And I don't doubt that I would probably hit them better if I changed to graphite shafts. What do you think about that? Rather than buying a new set, which or getting the old heads put into new shafts.
The theory is for every 10 grams you light in the golf club, you pick up 1 mile an hour of ball speed, which is about 3 yards. But that's with the driver. The problem is, like when we had Hal Sutton on, and he said it best there. He said the guy would come in and say, "I'm hitting my irons just as long as I always did, but I just can't hit my driver as far as I used to." He said, "I'm sorry to tell you, you're still hitting your irons shorter than you used to too. It's just the irons have been they've gotten into lowering the loft to where a pitching wedge is an 8-iron anymore." And that's probably part of what you're experiencing when you're hitting. If you go hit 7-iron to 7-iron with Griffiths, you're going to need to have a Griffiths 5-iron versus their 7-iron. And here's the problem: you get these hot irons that go pretty far, and now you end up buying 5 wedges because your pitching wedge is about the loft of an 8-iron. So I think it's a fallacy to think I wouldn't look at irons that I hit the ball further with. I'd look at irons that I hit the ball more accurate with. I would certainly check the loft right away, and you can figure out what the loft is on your Henry Griffiths and then match it up. Your 7-iron to their 7-iron, you'd find out that their 7-iron's a whole lot stronger than yours.
Yeah, that makes sense. But what about the idea of getting new shafts on my old Henry Griffiths heads?
You might get a lighter shaft, but here's the problem. A couple things. You get a real light graphite shaft, you got fear of breakage, and secondly, accuracy because the tip's softer.
Yeah.
A steel shaft, and there's a reason why guys on tour play with steel shafts because you can make all your irons twin brothers and twin sisters because the shafts are all identical. They'll all have about 1.8 degrees of torque on the tip, where you can take a graphite shaft and it might say 2.2 torque, and it might be 2.2, it might be 2.4, it might be 2.3, it might be 1.9. They don't come out, although they've improved them quite a bit. And what we got to do is get a guest on. It's a graphite shaft company, so they can explain some of this. Of course, they're going to give you the company line and they're going to say, no, it's all perfect. But I went to the Harrison factory and I watched how they did it, and it's real difficult to have them be consistently exact without putting them on a deflection board and finding out what the real stress is on that shaft. So it's hard to get 8 shafts that are identical to put into a set of clubs, and very difficult to make it cost effective. It's going to be expensive.
Good answer. Yeah, okay.
All right, go ahead. Next question.
Hey, Bobby, I got a question. It has to do with grip. I've just been noticing on tour, it seems like Jordan Spieth, some of these pros have long left-hand thumbs. Their thumb is long on the shaft. I have a short thumb. Does that have anything to do with making you, is that just personal preference, or does that make you swing faster, or does that have anything to do with anything?
I don't have a picture, I don't think, of Jordan's latest grip, but his grip on the video that I do have is not a very good one. I certainly wouldn't want to try and copy it. I wouldn't teach it to a kid, that's for sure. His grip looked terrible. Now, where did the Jordan Spieth? Maybe I have it under S. Does S come after M? I'm kidding.
But do some of the pros have a longer thumb, or is it
generally short thumb is more desirable? See, look at that grip. That grip is horrible. There's been some guys that have played with horrible grips. I mean, it's not a guarantee. But the thing that was horrible to me was this move he was making in his practice swing, and it was very similar to what Kuchar was doing. So he must have gone to the same teacher Kuchar was going to, I guess. And Farmer, if you're still there, When you say I was going to play a draw, you feel more like a field goal kicker. And you try to never start the ball outside the 2 poles,
Okay.
hoping it's going to come in. You want to play a little draw, play a little bit of a draw, especially with today's golf ball. Play a little bit of fade. You can't do those big benders like we used to do in the old days with the balata ball. It just doesn't work.
I think I really tend to line up to the right. I need to work on my alignment.
There you go. All right. Next question. Lay him on me. I could take it.
You got Ron on there?
Who's Ron? Ron who?
Ron Cherapanian.
Who's that?
I just saw you last week.
Oh, you did? Okay, hold on.
Yeah. Over at Tupelo.
Oh, at Tupelo. Ron?
Yeah. Chere.
Chere.
Yeah. Cherapanian.
Sounds like the mafia. C-O-C-H. I don't have it in there.
C-H-E.
You know what it is? It's probably in my iPad.
Yeah, it's in the iPad, right? Yeah.
It's in the iPad. Damn, I'm sorry.
All right. Well, listen. When we had the lesson on the 8-9 wedge, I was hitting them all the same length, and we got it a little bit farther. We improved it, and the lie on the turf there was so bad that you put it up on the tee, so everything worked pretty good there. Now I'm in reality. I go up to where the heck did we play last week? We just played a nice course, but the grass is down about a quarter of an inch high, and I'm having trouble getting down and hitting the ball. What is it? Is it a different arc? Do I bring the club up faster?
No, what are you saying?
On the backswing?
The grass was high?
No, the grass was like nothing. It was like almost hitting off a hard pan.
Okay, good. Here's what you want to do. I'll tell you the king of playing off a hard pan right here. Here he is. Just jumped over the fence too. Lee Trevino. Let's see here.
Yeah, we played the Witch. That's where it was. Okay.
Really? What, the name of golf course after your wife?
Yeah. Everything was fine on the tee. When you put it in the ground there, everything was fine there. And then all of a sudden, I got nothing.
Let's see if I Trevino with an iron. No, it's over the wood. Darn it. Well, look. Let me see if I can find somebody here with an iron.
I figured it might be more of an upright swing that I got to do in that condition.
What you got to do, and it's the one thing that's good about the Mizuno heads, the Mizuno irons, is they bevel the front edge so that you can lean the shaft a little more forward. And you got to move that ball a little further back on your stance. Not only for hard pan, but if you're playing on bent grass, I'm telling you, it isn't like that Bermuda grass where it's sitting up nice and pretty and you can, flush it over there. When you get that hard pan, you got to move the ball back in your stance and you got to do what you call trap it. When you get your hands a little more in front of the golf ball.
That's a Johnny Miller phrase.
Trap it?
Trap it. He loves saying that.
Does he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So that's what you got to do when you got to get the leading edge underneath the golf ball, and Trevino was good at that because he played in Texas all the time.
But look, it's by inside his left heel, and that's a wedge or a short iron right there.
Yeah, but he's got it teed up. It's a par 3.
Oh, I see. It's there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
See? Here we can't tell because that bag's in the way. Well, I don't know what a mess that is in the works.
I know I don't do that.
Well, I'm glad it's
Let's see
working.
Lee Trevino.
Let's look at the.
Yeah, I was doing all right on the tee box with the irons. They were going the right distance, but
See, right
as soon as I got it,
his club should be here, and his hand should be here.
Yeah.
So if you move the ball back in your stance just a little bit, you got it made. Here's another one there.
Okay.
Faxon are good. He's got it teed up here. But you see how you shaft lean? That's the shaft lean I wanted to tell you. That's what you're going to
Okay.
do when you got the ball on hard pan. And if you have that ball a little bit further back, and you better make sure that you toe the toe in just a little bit, so that you're hitting a draw kind of a thing. Because if it's open, you'll be sorry.
Yep. That's what was happening. All right. Yeah, and I can see he hit the grass after it too.
All right. Well, I'm glad it helped some anyway.
Okay.
When you
Next
move the
victim.
ball back like that, you need to close your club face a little bit.
Yes, that's what I was saying. You close it, toe it in a little bit, because you're going to catch the ball earlier in the arc. You maybe play it to draw a little more, but you're going to hit those low shots. It's going to be a lower ball flight. But you got to get the ball first when it's in hard pan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you want to do the same principle, hitting the ball out of a fairway bunker off the sand, right?
No, what I do in a sandway in a sand bunker on the fairway is I try to maintain my lower body from here down as quiet as possible. Once I plant my feet, I try to keep the lower body quiet. I feel a little more like all arms. I choke up about a half an inch, because the last thing I want to do is hit it fat. And I swing mostly arms. Keep the body still, because you don't want that body moving around a lot in an unstable surface. So if you're the kind of person who likes to move their feet around a lot when they're hitting it, or you move your legs like Elvis is in the building, you're going to have a hard time in fairway bunkers.
Well said.
Anybody else? Oh, look, there he is
What
again.
causes
There's a picture.
shanking little chips around the green?
Oh, if you're shanking a chip around the green, shame on you. But here's what I would do. I'd go to, well, probably sometimes a lot of it is just tension in your hands and your arms and stuff. But what I would do is this. Let me see if I know I got somebody. Want some chipping here. Hold on. I know I got one. If I can remember his name. Can't remember anything anymore. Starts with a T. That narrows it down.
Sure.
Darn it. Oh, anyway. Oh, I know what I can do. No, hold it. It won't be right. Let's do this. Let's pretend like he's chipping. Go to the chipping green. Get a head cover or something and lay it right there. And hit some chips on the practice green. And I bet you'll stop shanking it. And if you go on the golf course and you still shank it, before you hit the shot, put that head cover there. Because it'll scare you from going outside, because the path is just going outside. Centrifugal force wants to go out, so you'll catch it right in the neck.
Okay.
So you just got to, on the driving range, when I'm giving lessons, what I do is I take the ball basket, and I take it like this, and I turn it upside down. And I say, don't hit the basket. And they stop hitting it in the neck immediately. Either that or you're going to have one broken basket. I had a guy one time with a cardboard box. I used to put a cardboard box there, and he ripped that thing to shreds, man. It was all the way down here. Then I had this girl. She came out to interview as a teacher, see? And I said, wow, this would be perfect, because she looked great. And I said, so what I always do when everybody's looking for a job, I said, first thing I do is I give them a club and have them hit a couple balls so that I can end the conversation right there if they don't have a golf swing. So I said, come on, just hit me a couple of shots, sweetheart. She said, sure. She comes out over here, and I took the basket, and I just set it right there like this with all the balls in it, right? And I put the video on to take a video of her swing, and she swung, and she hit that basket, and the ball went flying everywhere, and then she started crying. And I felt so
Probably
bad.
didn't get hard.
No, it was too bad. I was tempted, though. She looked the part.
Yeah. Legs will be attractive.
You got that right. Next victim. Who else got a question? Going once?
Where's Darren?
Darren was, look, here's the problem we run into, and we got to find a solution for this. I don't know how we're going to do it. If I'm not doing 11 lessons today, he did. I only had 4 on purpose. I cut it off at that.
I got you. I understand completely.
And he gets out there doing 11 lessons in this heat. And by the end of the day, you are wiped out. So we want to go totally online. But the hard thing is how to stop pedaling one bike to pedal the other. And while you start pedaling, do you go broke in the meantime? So that's the now. Does anybody wants to invest in the group? And we're going to figure out a way to do this to get to be able to spend more time with you guys like this in this kind of environment. But you still, people still want to have a real golf lesson once in a while. And we like to see you guys when you come down to Myrtle Beach or Richmond. We like to see you. So to complement the two, we just had a really hard time trying to hire additional teachers, and that's just been very hard, especially ones that meet up to what we want them to do. So, any other questions? If not, we'll call it a night.
Thanks, Bobby.
Thank you, gang.
Thank you, Bobby. Good time.
Thank you. Always
Thank you.
appreciate it.